Hello, we're going to start to solve the problem rather than control. Be genuine rather than manipulated. Solve the problems rather than control. Okay, most of us don't like others attempted to control us. Someone who presumes to tell us what's good for us instead of helping us puzzle through the issues and problems is likely to engender defensiveness. Open-ended questions such as what seems to be the problem or how can we deal with the issue create a more supportive climate than critical comments such as here's where you are wrong or commands such as don't do that. Okay? Be genuine rather than manipulative. Be genuine. To be genuine means that you honestly seek to be yourself rather than someone you are not. It also means taking an honest interest in others, considering the uniqueness of each individual and situation, and avoiding generalizations or strategies focusing only on your own needs and desires. A manipulative person has hidden agendas. A genuine person discusses issues and problems openly and honestly. Improving your communication skills, okay? Practicing using I language, extended I language, okay? Be flexible rather than rigid. Be flexible. Be flexible. Most people don't like someone who always seems certain that he or she is right. If you are wrong, I'm right attitude creates a defensive climate. This does not mean that you should voice no opinions and go through life blithely agree to everything anyone says. And it doesn't mean that there is never one answer that is right and others that was wrong. But instead of making rigid pronouncement, you can use phrases as I may be wrong, but it seems to me blah blah blah. Or here's one way to look at this problem. Here's one way to look at this problem. This manner of speaking gives your opinions a softer edge that allows room for others to express a point of view. Okay? Be flexible. Present yourself as equal rather than superior, Present yourself as equal rather than barrier. You can antagonize others by letting them know that you view yourself as better than they are. You may be gifted and intelligent, but it's not necessary to announce it. And although some people have a responsibility and authority to manage others, pulling rank does not usually produce a cooperative climate. With phrases such as "let's work on this together" or "we each have a valid perspective," you can avoid erecting walls of resentment and suspicion. Also, avoid using abstract language or professional jargon to impress others. Keep your message short and clear, and use informal language. When you communicate with someone from another culture, you may need to use an elaborated code. Elaborated code means conversation that uses many words and various ways of describing an idea or concept to communicate its meaning. So this means that your message will have to be more explicit, but they should not be condescending. For example, two of these books' authors vividly remember trying to explain to a French exchange student what is a fire ant was. First, we had to translate ant, A-N-T, into French, and then we had to provide scientific, descriptive, and narrative evidence to help the students understand how this tiny biting insect terrorizes people in the southern part of the United States. Underlying the goal of creating a supportive rather than a defensive communication climate is the importance of providing social and emotional support when communicating with others. A basic principles of all healthy interpersonal relationships is the importance of communicating positive, supportive messages that impart liking or affection. Several researchers have documented researchers have documented that providing verbal messages of comfort and support, not surprisingly, enhance the quality of a relationship. As a relationship developed over time and the communication partners gain more credibility, in influence, message of comfort play an even more important role in maintaining the quality of the interpersonal relationship, as you will. Yeah. And next, we use not only words of comfort, but also nonverbal expressions of comfort. Communication researchers have documented the power of humor in helping to turn a tense, potentially conflict-producing confrontation into a more supportive, positive conversation. Research by communication scholar Amy Bipus found that most people report using humor to provide comfort to others. Humor is also perceived as a productive way to help a distressed person better cope with the problem and stress. How to have a conversation? How? How to have a conversation? The conversation means the spontaneously interactive exchange of a message with another person, right? The root meaning of the word conversation is to move together. Although you can suddenly have a conversation with yourself, conversation is typically with one person but may include several people. It's a natural process of visiting with another person or persons and discussing a range of topics from the mundane to the intimately personal. But for all of its normalness and naturalness, a simple conversation with someone is made more difficult because of the cosmic array of distractions that technology offers. Alone Together, that's a book. Charlie Tuckle discussed the important technology has on our lives and how it's getting harder to have face-to-face conversation with others. She observed in today's workplace, young people who have grown up fearing conversation show up on the job wearing earphones, big ones, like a pilot. They turn their desk into cockpit. She added, working through the college library on a campus of a high-tech startup, one sees the same things. We are together, but each of us is in our own bubble, furiously connected to the keyboard and tiny touch screen. Given the potential distraction of technology, as well as tendency to mind our own business coupled with with tolerance to talk to others, how do we start and maintain a simple conversation with others. So start conversation. The easiest way to start a natural conversation is to make a comment about something that is happening now, in the present moment. Okay. If you are interested in more than conversation with another person, do clever pickup lines work. One study found that women preferred a more direct, flattering conversational approach from men, such as, I noticed you when I was sitting across the room. I am Irony. What's your name? Rather than cute, clever, connect. If you were tropical fruit, you'd be a fine apple, or do you have a mouth? I'm getting lost in your eyes. The definition. A conversation is spontaneous, so having a pre-planned standard opening question may fall flat. Let the situation, time, location, and other person organically help you determine how to start a conversation, rather than using a canned pickup line. Sustaining conversation. Okay, what do you say after hello? The most important skill involved in keeping the conversation ball rolling are: first, asking good questions. Second, listening. Think of the questions and the mental can openers designed to open to the conversation. A good question should be other-oriented and give a person the opportunity to respond comfortably. Okay. After you ask your question and pause, the opportunity to respond comfortably. After you ask your question and pause, just listen. As we note in the last we learned that listening is about focusing on the adapting to the other person rather than yourself. Okay? Stopping your own mental chatter, looking at the other person, and then focusing on your partner's word are keys to good conversational listening. Then follow up with the additional astute questions that directly related to other person. Research has found that conversation partners highly value being other-oriented and adapting messages to others, whether in person or online. Early on In their conversation, the focus is usually on small talk, non-threatening information about what the other person does and where they live. If your conversational partners also has listening skills and ask questions, you will not have to do all of the conversational work. There is the natural rhythm to what we self-disclose to others. The key in conversation is to listen and ask questions, but don't ask for too much information too soon. Okay? Asking open-ended question is the most effective way to keep conversation rolling along. Open-ended questions can't be answered with a simple yes or no, but call for a longer response. Have you lived here long? Or where are you from? A close-ended question. You are likely to get a one-word answer that quickly places the conversational ball back in your court. But asking, what do you like best about living in Austin? Or why did you pick Texas State? Give the person a chance to elaborate or not. Part of the fun of conversation is to be natural and not worried about trying to be perfect. She knows human relationships are rich. They are messy and demanding. We have learned the habit of cleaning them up with the technology. One study found that by asking each other a series of the 36 increasingly personal questions, two strangers were more likely to become friends, or in some cases, romantic partners. Here is a sample of some of the questions asked. What would constitute a perfect day for you? When did you last sing to yourself, to someone else? For what in life do you feel most grateful? What do you value most in a friendship? Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? What roles do you love and affection play in your life? Complete sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share blank. what, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? When did you last cry in front of another person? Be yourself. We don't recommend asking predetermined or canned questions. Conversation should flow spontaneously from one topic to another. This question merely illustrated the kind of questions that got people to open up and in some cases develop a relationship. Yeah, right? This study concluded by having the conversation partners silently look at each other for 4 minutes. No, we are not suggesting that technique as a standard practice, but taking the time to focus on the other person and to communicate you're interested in his or her verbal and non-verbal methods can enhance the art of conversation. Okay. Do you know apologize? Apologize. How to apologize? We know the apologize, but you know how to apologize? Apology means explicit admission of an error, along with a request for forgiveness. We aren't at other oriented as we should be. We may say and do things that we shouldn't. We are human. We make a mistake. Words, however, not only inflict pain, but also have a power to repair relational damage. One of the ways to mend a relational rift when we have made a mistake is to offer an apology. To explicitly admit that we made an error and to ask the person we offend to forgive us. An apologize helps us to save face and can repair relational stress. One research team found that people who received an apology felt less anger, less likely to be aggressive, and had a better overall impression of the offender. In addition, research has found that when we apologize to someone, the person we initially offended has greater empathy toward us and is less likely to avoid us or seek revenge. And apologize can calm a turbulent relationship. Okay. What kinds of apologize are most effective? what kinds of apologize are most effective? One of the most effective ways to apologize is simply to honestly and sincerely admit that you were wrong. It's not enough individual was wrong. It's not enough just to say, I'm sorry, I hurt you. A true apologize acknowledges that the offending individual was wrong. Thus, it's better to say it explicitly, I was wrong. Assuming responsibility for the error, offering to do something to repair the damage, are specific kinds of behaviors that enhance the effectiveness of an apology. Researchers Cynthia McPherson, Friends, and Courtney Benningson found that it may not be the best to apologize immediately after you make a mistake. Their results indicate that it may be better to wait a short time before apologizing. Your apology will be perceived as more sincere and heartfelt if the other person believes that you truly understand how your mistake hurt him or her, and then you want to repair the damage. An apology given too quickly may be perceived as insincere. The offended person may think that you are just trying to quickly dismiss the other. Being perceived as sincerely remorseful is one of the keys to an effective apology. Okay, so being other-oriented. Words can hurt and heal. You know that, yeah? Offering the apology when you are wrong is a way to restore a relationship and reconcile with another person. But sometimes you will express your regret and apologize for something you did or said, but the other person will not accept your apologize. What are appropriate ways of responding to someone if your apology has been rejected? How to be assertive. Assertive means able to pursue one's own best interest without denying a partner's right. How to be assertive. To be assertive is to make a request, ask for information, stand up for your rights, and generally pursue your own best interest without denying your partner's right. Each individual has rights. You have the right to refuse a request from someone, the right to express your feelings as long as you don't trample on the feeling of others, and the right to have your needs met if they don't infringe on the rights of others. Assertive people let their communication partners know when a message or behavior infringes on their right. Some people confuse the terms assertive and aggressive. Being aggressive means pursuing your interest by denying the rights of others. Being appropriately assertive is being other-oriented, different. Aggressiveness is exclusive self-oriented. Aggressive people blame, judge, and evaluate to get what they want. We'll expand on our discussion of aggressive behavior when we discuss relationship challenge in next lesson. Aggressive communicators use communication tactics that contribute to defensiveness, including such intimidating nonverbal cues as steely stares, a bombastic voice, and flailing gestures. Assertive people can ask for what they want without judging or evaluating their partners. So, sometimes it's challenging to respond appropriately when another person comes at you with an inappropriately aggressive, argumentative, or defensive message, especially if that message takes you by surprise. But you do not have to be passive. You do not have to be passive when you are on the receiving end of such a message. You can develop the skill in asserting yourself by practicing 5 key behaviors.